welcome to Scary Skull. The old mall was abandoned due to an accident causing the loss of many lives. The once thriving shopping center was now nothing but a shell of its former self. The lights were dim and the floors were covered in dust. The only thing that remained was the eerie silence that hung in the air. Despite its decrepit state, the mall had a strange pull, like it was calling me. It was as if something was drawing me inside, promising me secrets and treasures beyond my wildest dreams. And yet, I had the strangest feeling, like I was dreaming. At first, it was just like any other mall. The stores were empty, the escalators were still, and the food court was silent. But as I made my way deeper into the mall, things started to change. The air grew colder, and I could hear strange noises echoing through the halls. I tried to tell myself that it was just my imagination, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. I had been wandering for what felt like hours when I heard a sound that froze me in my tracks. It was a soft, shuffling sound, like something that was dragging itself across the floor. I turned around slowly, my heart pounding in my chest. That's when I saw it. It was like nothing I had ever seen before. It was tall and thin, with long arms that reached almost to the floor. Its skin was a sticky grey color. I wanted to run, but my feet wouldn't move. I was paralyzed with my feet. The creature began to move towards me, its long arms dragging behind me. I could hear its ragged breathing, and I knew that it was coming for me. I turned and ran, my heart pounding in my chest. I could hear the creature behind me, its nothing echoing through the halls, its footsteps echoing through the walls. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew that I had to get out of there. I ran until I couldn't run anymore. I collapsed on the floor, grasping for air. That's when I heard it. The creature was right behind me. I turned around, and there it was, looming over me. Its breath was hot and foul-smelling. I closed my eyes, waiting for the end, but it never came. When I opened my eyes again, the creature was gone. I was alone in the mall once again. I don't know how long I sat there, catching my breath, and I tried to make sense of what had just happened. But when I finally stood up and looked around, I realized the mall had changed. It was no longer abandoned. The stores were filled with merchandise, and people were shopping and laughing. It was as if the mall had come back to life. I tried to leave, but I couldn't find the exit. Every time I turned a corner, I found myself back in the same spot, and then I heard it. The creature was back. I could hear the creature's breathing getting closer and closer. I knew I had to keep moving, but every turn I took led me back to the same place. I was trapped, and I could feel my sanity slipping away. The people in the mall had vanished. The stores were now empty again. The lights flickered, casting eerie shadows in the walls. The creature was getting closer, and I could feel its breath on the back of my neck. That's when I saw it. A glint of light caught my eye, and I turned to see the bright light at the end of the hallway. I ran towards it, hoping that it was a way out. But as I got closer, I saw the light fade away, and I knew at that moment I was trapped. The creature was right behind me, and I could feel its cold palms on my back. I turned to face it, ready to fight for my life. But when I saw its face, I knew I was done for. Its face was a blur, constantly shifting and changing. I couldn't make out its features, but I could feel its hatred and hunger. I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. The creature closed in on me, and I could feel its breath on my face. That's when I broke, screamed and screamed, my mind shattering into a million pieces. The creature seemed to feed off my fear, growing stronger and stronger. I accepted that I was going to die, but then something strange happened. The creature began to shrink, its form twisting and contorting. It let out a terrible shriek, and then it was gone. The mall was silent once again. I sat there for a long time, trying to make sense of what had just happened. Had the creature been real, or was it all in my head? I didn't know. All I knew was that I was alone, trapped in an abandoned mall. Hours went by. Then suddenly, I hear a familiar voice. It was my mother crying. As I got closer to the sound, just as it appeared, it was gone. I was once again alone. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. I wandered the halls of the mall, slowly losing my grip on reality. The stores came and went, their merchandise changing with each passing day, but I didn't care. I was trapped, and there was no way out. In the end, I accepted my fate. I sat down in the middle of the mall, surrounded by the ruins of a once thriving shopping center. I didn't have the strength to keep going. I closed my eyes, waiting for the end. As I lay there on the floor, my mind began to wander. I thought back to the accident. Did I die with all those other poor people? Was this hell? And was this all just a hallucination? Was the creature in the mall, or was it just a manifestation of my own fears and anxieties? I tried to shake off the thought, but it lingered in the back of my mind. Had I been living in this place for all these months, trapped in my own mind? The more I thought about it, the more I seemed to fade away. As I could feel myself fading into unconsciousness, I wondered if I would ever wake up. Would I be trapped in this horrid place forever, haunted by my own fears and regrets? Or would I finally be able to escape, to leave this nightmare? Then I hear it, as if it was echoing in my head, all around me, the dreaded sound of a life support flatlining. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed tonight's story.
Stay safe out there.
Join us
in the next video.
and don't get too spooked.